Welcome to the Wrexham Coffee Matchup. I'm Dave.
And I'm Courtney. Each week, we'll take a few minutes to catch up on the latest news from Wrexham. From matchups to transfers, on and off the pitch, we'll share our takes on it all.
So grab a coffee and join us. Hey, Courtney, how are you today?
We're back. I'm good.
We are
How are
back.
you?
I'm doing pretty well. So first, I just wanted to start us this week by pointing out that we've had some really nice listener feedback. New thing. So it's kind of exciting that we're here getting feedback from people on Bluesky and YouTube. First, High Desert Dragon from Bluesky wants to know how we feel of, is this the end of the road for Phil Parkinson? What do you think about that?
It's interesting because I think that this question came in before either of the last two matches, before we played Norwich City, before we played Reading. And my answer today is very much the exact same answer that I would have given then, which is no, absolutely
As in,
not.
absolutely not, never, not before a whole season, right? After back to back to back, you got to give him a chance.
Maybe not never. I mean, The world of football is cutthroat. But I mean, there had not been, you're much better with numbers, like how many games we had played by that point. I mean, it was a handful of matches and that was it, to put somebody on the chopping block. And there were players that hadn't played yet. There are players that are still now coming back from injury. No, absolutely not.
Right. And as we'll talk about in a few minutes, that no is an even more emphatic no as we go forward. But also we want to just give a quick shout out to Kent in Alberta, who's been following us on YouTube, who spends the time after each episode and puts some really nice, thoughtful comments and his opinions about the matches as well. It's really fun to enjoy, to read those and to answer them as well. So if you guys have comments, please make them on Bluesky, comment on our YouTube videos. We'd love to hear it. If you have questions for us, we'd love to answer them as well.
Absolutely. And I did try Kent's trick of connecting through Belgium to see if I could watch the Reading match. No luck.
So we're in the middle of a really busy time for the team. We've just had since we last talked, we've had two matches from Norwich City and Reading, and that's part of a series of 5 matches over a 14-day period. So, I mean, I think we're going to be seeing a lot of shuffling of the team over the next couple of weeks, and good to see that, like, how the Norwich City and the Reading matches might inform those upcoming matches as we go forward.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So first up, Norwich City. What are your thoughts?
Wow, is what I thought. That was quite a match. I started the game and I was kind of live chatting along on Bluesky on our account, and I noticed that we were really dominating our possession in the first half, but the team, you could see them really start to gel together, but it wasn't quite clicking yet, right? So for like good 38 minutes of that first 45 minutes, we were looking really good and really solid. We just aren't getting it into the goal, and so I was a little worried at first, and then Norwich City got a goal at the end of the first half, and I had hoped that wouldn't kill our momentum. And after a Parky pep talk at halftime, oh boy, did we really pick up the fire. Just a few notes. I made my notes and I looked back, and so I thought I'd just go through my notes. I started off with my first note was Windass is back. Then I said,
oh yeah,
wow. Then I said, wow, Karbore, just wow, to which I believe you called him a speed demon who's everywhere. And then we moved into the second half, and it was really just names that we had not seen before, but like Sheaf to Karbore to Windass to Net. And then Karbore to Longman to Net. And then when Windass scored his second goal, which was the third of that half, I loved Mia's comment where she just pointed out that Windass has magic in his boots. So definitely there was a lot of fire lit under the team, and I really think that it was starting to gel as a squad. And once we saw Thomason come on, I think we finally have seen all of the new signings on the pitch of the 13 in some shape or form. And so now it's just a matter of how does that transpose over the coming weeks. But at the end of the match, Mark Griffiths, he gave a beautiful summary, which kind of goes back to our previous point, which he said, quote, "Parky out, stick that in your clickbait."
Yes, I remember that. I mean, yeah, what the thing is, I think that the Parky Out squad, the Parky Out folks, um, any loss, and that's the train that they're going to jump on. Any win, and they're going to say, well, I don't know, maybe not this week. But as soon as there's another loss,
I was going to say, let's hope that doesn't happen for a little while.
a loss. Well, we've got a couple of tough matches coming up. I know we'll get to that later.
Yes.
But also, it's going to happen. It's inevitable. There are 46 matches in a season. There are gonna be more losses, and that's just the way it is. No, I was mostly listening to the match on Saturday versus Norwich City, and occasionally glancing at my phone. And it was really impressive to listen to the commentary and kind of have in my mind, what I imagined was happening, which was Karbore is fast. Which is something that, we didn't necessarily talk about needing speed in the last episode. We did talk about how other teams are quite fast, and that speed is an important component of a winning team. And it was really, really great to see, to go back and watch some clips. And a comment that I think you didn't hear, that Mark Griffiths read from, I think he said, someone from Bluesky said something along the lines of, someone should write a song to the tune of That's Amore with Karbore. And I am very embarrassed. And I hope that our producer, Eric, cuts this. Doesn't even go in a blooper reel, just on the cutting room floor. But I did write something in my head.
Well, let's hear it. Hear it.
Is my face as red as my shirt? Okay. When you look and you see there's someone, suddenly that's Karbore. When you think there's no one, but my God, how he runs, that's Karbore. And that's all I've got.
So for next time, I'll work on the harmonies for us. How about that?
No, that can also be a one-time thing. We don't need the whole song. Someone else can take that up.
Okay, so we can turn over the licensing rights to the team so they can
happily
sing that in the stands. So it was just a really great feeling to see members of the squad back from injury, really starting to gel together, and such a decisive, strong victory. It at least it shows us that we're on the right track, which I think also set us up very nicely for the cup match on Tuesday against Reading, where we got to see a large number of players that hadn't featured as much in the previous matches. But it was a really, really solid team that we put out against Reading. Just a couple of my quick observations is, Sam Smith and Elliot Lee look really great together when they're playing. They have this kind of language that they seem to have developed over the last year, and I hope we get to see them more, because Elliot Lee really ran his butt off for 90 minutes, and he just made some amazing plays and really helped service the team. In the first half, I thought there was a lot of good opportunities in the first half, but we didn't really connect solidly on them. And Nathan Broadhead kind of flew under the radar in that first half, and I hadn't really noticed him when I was watching. I was watching first at work, and then I rewatched again at home so I could pay more attention. But as soon as we came back from that second half, he really just came to life and scored his first 2 goals for Wrexham in the Wrexham shirt. That compared with really impressive performances from Ryan Barnett, who made his 100th career appearance.
On his birthday, I believe.
On his birthday, yes, his 26th birthday. Elliot Lee playing for a full 90 minutes with full energy, and Sam Smith looking really strong. I thought we put together a great effort, and we had really excellent support from Callum Burton in the goal. He really stopped some of Reading's early efforts that might have given them an advantage. So it was a really overall impressive second half that made for a strong finish and really sets us up for the next round.
I have to say, I didn't watch. I did try to watch. I just couldn't. I just couldn't make it work. I tried 53 different ways, and I just resigned myself to following the score on Google. And the reason was because, I don't know, an hour, 2 hours before the match started, I went on to the Wrexham app, the iFollow, and it didn't even have the match listed. So in my mind, I thought, oh, there's not even commentary from Mark and Andy and Mia. So I said, okay, I'll just follow the score on Google. I started watching an episode of The Great British Bake Off, and I thought, you know what? I'm just gonna let me try. It's inconceivable to me that they would not be doing commentary, and of course they were. So I started listening, got through, the first half. Halftime started kind of nodding off a little bit, I must admit, and was awoken to the joy in Mark's voice for the first goal. But I have to say, I was sort of beaming, listening to how well Elliot Lee was playing. I think he's someone that is near and dear to both of our hearts. Maybe you can share the story about Dom's Kitchen. But that was really fantastic to hear. You and I have kind of said to each other in the last couple of weeks, have we seen the last of him? And I think Tuesday's performance sounds like, and it seems like you have confirmed this by watching it, not the case.
Yeah, so it's interesting because when the whole talk about the transfer window was up, there were rumors of Elliot Lee not staying with the team for the year. And I was really hoping that that wasn't true. And I was very happy that it wasn't true. But then we didn't really see him feature much. He made the bench a couple times. He did score in a previous cup match. And so there was a little bit of silence on his side. So to see him not only starting, but really making such a positive impression just shows that he's been working his way to get back into that starting squad. And some of the comments I saw after the match are there's people who feel like he's earning his place back on the bench or back in the starting lineup. So like we mentioned, with 5 matches over a 14-day period, there's going to have to be a lot of rotations. So I'd like to see some opportunity, hopefully, for him to get out there and to continue to show us what he can do, because he still has it. So you mentioned Dom's Food Bank. About 2 years ago, I think it was a year and a half ago, there was a Instagram post about charity football, signed football that they were auctioning off. And Elliot was the spokesperson for this food bank in North Wales, and I think also in Northern England. And so I was able to bid on a team signed football that I won. And when I got the chance, I was able to pick it up at the race course. You were with me that first visit when you came with me to the race course. And we were so close to being there and meeting Elliot and getting the ball from him, and we missed him by like 2 or 3 minutes. And so he dropped it at the front desk and we picked it up from there. But I have that ball in my little corner Wrexham shrine at the office that I'll take a picture and send to everybody. But it's just this connection where he's been such an amazing player over the years, and he's been with them from back to back to back into the championship. And we just like to see what else he can still do for the team.
Yeah, for sure. Is it signed by everybody? I thought it was just signed by him.
No, there's a good 15 or 20 signatures on the ball. So the current team at that time. So
nice.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. So then we advance, because of our victory on Tuesday, we advance to the 4th round of the EFL Cup, which is the first time we've made it to the 4th round since 1977, which is about 48 years, which is quite amazing.
And
in
the fourth time ever.
That is also very impressive. And in the post-match interview, Parky was beaming because he seems to be really enjoying the progress that they're making in the cup this year. It's kind of like he's got this really big, really strong team that can do a lot of different things. And I think he feels that he wants them to continue to progress through this. It turns out that the 4th round selection will be made right after we're finished filming. So we'll find out who we're playing later today. And the match will take place the week of the 27th. But this is the round of 16. So there's only 16 teams left.
And there's some scary names.
They are some big Premier League names. But the winner of the ones who make it to the finals at Wembley, which is, again, something that would be very exciting to see. And the winner of the cup actually plays in one of the European League Cups next season. So that would be, and it's been many, many years since Wrexham has played in a European competition.
Oh, so interesting.
Yes, so we can talk more about that when the next round comes up.
Okay.
Yeah. So what do we have coming up next, Courtney?
So other than that, on this coming Saturday, we play against, is it Derby or Is it just Derby if it's between two, like a rivalry?
I think they pronounce it
Derby, or is it Derby County?
I think they call the place Derby as well. Yes. We will find out as we listen to the match, right?
For all of the fans who are from there, I apologize for the butchering of all of these names for the teams. That's a home game. Derby County is close to the bottom of the table. They're currently in 22nd. Do you have any other fun facts about them?
No, just I did a little bit of research on them. I mean, they were one of the original founding teams of the Football League back in, was it like 1888? So there was 6 or 7 teams that are still playing today. They were one of them. They've almost always through their entire career been either in the first or second league. Only a few times have they dipped down into the third league. The most recent one was a couple of years ago when they dropped down to League One. But they have lots of Premier League experience. They previously have won the Premier League. The strong championship team, but just having a rough season so far. So they've only had 1 victory so far, and I think they're looking to turn their season around.
I bet. Yes. After that, we've got our next Tuesday match again, an away match against Leicester City. We might have a story coming with that, just along the lines of now 2 Cinderella teams meeting, but more on that later. And then a Friday match on the 3rd of October versus Birmingham. So that'll be an interesting one to watch.
And that's one that, so I was at the Birmingham Wrexham match last year in January. So it'll be nice to see them play again. Birmingham's doing pretty well this season. And I think we're starting to get our footing. So that'll be a really competitive match.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then there's just a quick update. We can't go a week without having an Ollie Watch.
Nope, we can't. Which Ollie?
Ollie Watch. Well, we're focused on this season right now, so Ollie Watch 2.0.
Ollie Rathbone.
Ollie Rathbone is back with the team practicing. He's looking strong, and there's a good chance that he will be back on the bench or in the starting lineup in the next week or two. And I'm really excited about that because rewatching the matches and the highlights from the last week or so, George Dobson's been playing incredibly well. Lewis O'Brien is a really, really strong, fast, quick addition to the midfield. And imagine if we had an Ollie Rathbone and a Lewis O'Brien and a George Dobson all together. I think that would really help fix the quickness of the midfield that we've been talking about.
Did you spot Phil Parkinson's mention of Ollie in the post-match interview on Tuesday?
I saw in the pre-interview that he had been practicing with the team, and so he's on the squad. And there was a proof of life photo of him last Thursday on the website as the weekly practice matches. We've talked about the proof of life, right?
But was that so? I thought it was just like a publicity photo, not like photos from the week. And I had said to you, like, oh, that could have been taken anytime. But maybe I missed that part.
I think they tend to put them out from that week's training. And I mean, maybe they're messing with us, but
it could have been.
It could have been.
But so did you see the video that they posted, that the team posted on their Instagram account a couple days ago? I guess the prompt was just say your name.
Oh, I did not see that. No.
Oh my gosh. Okay, a couple takeaways from that. First, George Dobson is just a goof. He's the first one. He's like, my name is J.O. Jorge Georgie. Very funny, just very, very silly. Second takeaway, Ollie Rathbone was there. So I thought, ooh, maybe another proof of life with a little wink. And then I do not think that I ever really paid that much attention to Matty James until that video. And I thought, ooh.
It was this year Matty James awakening.
Yes, it was. It was.
So if you haven't already, I'm sure you'll be joining the Wrexham Thirst section on Bluesky, where there's a collection of fans who also spend time admiring the game as well as the beauty of the players. And they even have a thirst section man of the match where you get to vote and who showed the most that episode or that match. So it's kind of a fun group to interact with. Yeah.
I believe that I will probably be making my first vote in the next match.
Well, we welcome you. So that's all we have time for today. We look forward to catching up next week, and have a great week, everyone.
Yep. Well, that's all we have time for. Thanks for joining us this week. Please like, comment, and subscribe.
You can also email us at wxmcoffeematchup@gmail.com. All one word, that's wxmcoffeematchup@gmail.com. Or you can follow us on Instagram and Bluesky at wxmcoffeematchup.
From the cop to your coffee cup, that's all for today's Wrexham Coffee Matchup. Keep it brewing, keep it red, and as always, up the town.